A battle is being waged around you with the express purpose of eliminating you. The battle for your manhood is a conflict against the truth that defines you. You hear about the inequality agenda all the time, yet its whole purpose is to drive a wedge between your true self and the person your social mind training would have you become. Here's the unpalatable truth about contemporary feminism. Males have been made the scapegoat for it. Someone who does harm and should be punished severely. Generalizations are a bad idea, according to these people, but their entire operation and set of goals relies on broad generalizations to keep you in check. Men are viewed as the enemy in the struggle for gender equality. Men have taken on the role of the devilish patriarchy and become the enemy. Since men are born with inherent flaws, they are expected to offer excuses for their very existence. Feminized males frequently express regret for their masculinity and claim they have no place in discussions about women's rights. Don't dismiss that idea just yet. You're telling me I should be ashamed of who I am. But women are always judging guys and telling them how they should behave. Disparaging women is a broad generalization. And this video does not make that mistake. We acknowledge that there are many wonderful women in the world who are deserving of a man's undying affection. But today, we're going to focus on the other 95% of ladies and the social mind programming agendas that seek to feminize you. They demand an explanation for why you are you. The truth of the matter is that in today's environment, women hold men accountable for being misogynists, but will never allow men to hold them accountable for being feminists. However, the story being recounted typically gives women the lead role. Men, like women, can have desires and aspirations and emotional responses. Remember, misogyny and patriarchy are institutions, not people wearing peaky blinders. Therefore, men are not the patriarchy that women are fighting to dismantle. According to Shelby's bleak assessment, apologies are like removing bricks from a wall one at a time. Ultimately, the entire thing will fall down. Let's get back to the meat of the discussion. Though, what are some things men should never apologize for? I propose that we examine a total of 6 distinct matters. First and foremost, for self-care reasons related to our work or personal lives. There's a fine line between being selfish and being selfless. And it's important to be aware of that whenever you're having a hard time prioritizing yourself. Selfishness serves us well at times since we can't properly care for others until we've mastered it ourselves. Finding ways to help others is incredibly rewarding, but you should never feel bad about being there for yourself. You have value and meaning, and you must honor them by prioritizing your own well-being. I don't only mean stuff. I also mean skills and information. You can't even contemplate a cup of tea unless you find something worthwhile in yourself to share with the world. In the event that one man drinks half a cup of tea while the other man drinks a full cup of tea, to which gentleman do you attribute the greater capacity to share tea with me? Your worth will increase if you invest in yourself. So schedule some time off to do so. That is not an act of selfishness on your part. To add to that, the bar for success in today's society is set at varying heights depending on who you ask. Many people equate material wealth, social standing, and inner contentment with success. You can do anything you set your mind to if you work hard and never give up, regardless of the obstacles you meet. Those who seek the most out of life should strive for it. Although success is elusive and demands many sacrifices over time, it is inevitable for those who put in the work necessary to attain it. As guys of high value, you should never feel guilty for accomplishing your goals. People in general tend to look down on endeavors they will never undertake. This explains the widespread bias against rich men. But keep in mind that a successful person who has worked hard for his accomplishment would never apologize for it. Number 3, from an early age, we are indoctrinated with the message that questioning authority is not acceptable behavior befitting a civilized little white boy. This helps you develop decent manners to some extent. On the other hand, it can lead to the dangerous habit of accepting everything at face value without ever questioning it. In effect, you become a lab rat, eagerly consuming any and all interventions and wares shown to you. All valuable people share a penchant for inquiring about things they don't understand. They think that the leader is what makes the job. One is not a leader simply because they hold a certain title. What I mean is that every leader, no matter how competent, deserves to be held to account. You should speak up against an idea or a thinking you disagree with if it threatens the success of your group or the welfare of others. If one wants to succeed, they need be ready to take some heat. Never apologize or be scared to question a planned notion or action for doing what is right. Despite the backlash you receive for raising doubts, it's better to go out fighting than to go down groveling. In order to achieve your goals, you need to remember rule number 4, all great deeds start in the mind. Your thinking and your reality are created by the dreams you allow yourself to entertain. Your state of mind inevitably catches up with you, whether it's 1 month or 1 year later. Don't ever feel guilty about the goals you have set for yourself and the people you care about. Only you can know the value of following your dreams and the impact they will have on your life, because it is your life, and you alone will determine its course. You wouldn't believe how many men are loathed simply because they are disciplined and have boundaries. 5. This is the number 1 cause of relationship breakdown. The woman feels in love because her spouse is too focused on his career. This doesn't mean you have to turn into a workaholic, but it is something to keep in mind if people criticize you for being too focused on your mission. Then, above all, don't apologize. Those around you probably don't give a hoot about your efforts to be in shape and eat healthily. So if you say no to an unhealthy food because of your diet, the burden of guilt won't fall on them. If you have specific plans or preferences, you shouldn't cave to outside pressure. A simple no and a continuation of your day will suffice. Do not forget that there are 2 types of individuals in this world: those who realize their potential and those who allow others to push them around. Discipline to become the person you want to be in the world will always require grit. But if you allow others to make you feel insecure about having your boundaries, you not only slow yourself down, but you risk not reaching your goal at all. Number 6 is giving it a go and then realizing it's not going to work. It's only when you realize your efforts were for naught that failure becomes unpleasant and exhausting. You may have felt the need to explain your inability to complete a project or keep a job to others, but you are not obligated to do so. You may believe that by elaborating on your situation, they will feel more compassion for you, but this is not the case. Be brave and accept that failure is an opportunity to learn from your mistakes and grow as a person. Keep in mind, bros, a true man admits guilt and offers an apology when he's wrong. But there are some things you should never feel ashamed of, and your man lines is definitely not one of them. No matter how much hatred is directed at you, you must always stick to the moral boundaries you've established.